Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. And as usual, I'm going to make one of these about gaming videos. We're in London. We're on the banks of the River Thames, right on the edge of the River Thames. There you go. There's the London Eye. It's a kind of grey day in London. A bit overcast. Nothing unusual there. A little bit of sun in the background. Anyway, this is not about Watch Dogs Legion or about London. It's about gaming. Today's topic is a topic I've touched on before. It's an ongoing topic, so it's probably a topic I'll touch on again. And it's live service games and how video companies, publishers, developers continue to desperately churn out live service games, make games that are live service that shouldn't be or don't need to be, on this desperate kind of idea that they want to get a part of the market of a live service game to make a game like Destiny or Fortnite or something like that, where number one, there's a limited player base for live service games, obviously, because a certain amount of people are going to play a live service game, and I'm not somebody who plays those, but I can't imagine that anyone's going to be playing 2, 3 or 4 of them all at the same time. One, because it'd be very expensive, and two, it'd be very time consuming. So there's a very limited market. It's not like playing normal single-person games or multiplayer games where you can drop in and out when you want and play one for a bit. You're committed kind of, because you'd be playing obviously to buy into that game. So that's number one. It's a very limited market, which is already at saturation with what there is. And then video game publishers, developers keep churning out new stuff. I won't go into all these calls, and there's been Redfall and Suicide Squad, and there's so many extra ones coming out all the time, where some of them don't need to be live service. They wouldn't, if you looked at them, actually normally be a live service game. The model of the game isn't what would suit a live service game, but they've made them that just to try to monetize it more. And then this obsession with throwing out more and more live service games, which often close down or get ridiculed or become very low player bases very quickly, it destroys the faith in any good live service game. So what they're basically doing is almost like a scammer throwing out a scam and hoping one will stick and they can make money. But the more times they throw out these poor live service games, either the games are poor or the content's poor or there's too much monetization, etc, 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 or they're just boring and they're just nothing new, the more times people just don't care anymore. The more people look at each time as a new live service game and think, oh no, not another one. And the more times that people look into all the details, whereas in the past people may have thought, wow, that's really exciting. Now people just think, yeah, whatever. So that's the first kind of thing. I was thinking, why do they keep doing this? Why don't they, if they really want to make a good live service game, why don't developers concentrate on making one really good game that they can really believe in, that really fits the live service model, that's different from the other games out there or has similarities, because they're all going to be kind of similar, looter shooter kind of things, whatever. But that has maybe a few differences, but it's just really original and they can really push it, rather than just throw out anything and stick a live service on it and say, well, that's a new live service game. So, and also I wonder why they don't canvas people for what they want, because I've seen some of the things, Redfall's one, Concord, which just sort of come out as a beta's one, where you can tell straight away it's not what people are going to want. And you think, why don't they canvas real people, real gamers, not a select bunch of people they found from wherever, just a real bunch of gamers? Why don't they just canvas their own developers and ask them what they think the people they know would want to play? Because it's really obvious, some of these games, before you've even seen them, who told them these would be good. It's a bit like some of the things that Disney make as Star Wars series. It's like, who thought this would be good? Who thought someone would like this? So that's just weird. And then again with live service games, and I've touched on this before as well, it's really weird that they think that people have just got this endless time and money, because obviously online service games, you've got to pay for being online. That's a cost, and it's a monthly cost, and people may not want to pay that. So that's number one. Then you've got all the DLCs, and you've got in-game shops and loot and these pay-to-win aspects and seasons and all these other things. So again, it's expensive, and you have to keep going with it. And Another main point with these games, and it's been shown like numerous times in gaming in the last 6 months, in the last year with live service games, is that you're completely at the mercy of the developer whether they decide to shut down the live service. If you buy a game, this is Watch Dogs Legion, so I bought this, I don't play it online, but even if I did, if they shut down any online possibility, I've got the game, I can continue to play it single person, I don't need anything else to do it, and I can play it forever and ever. But with live service games, the whole point to those is new seasons, new content, and if a developer decides there's not enough people playing, which is necessary to support the funding of a live service game, obviously, they'll just shut it down. So you're completely at the mercy of a developer who may shut down the game and say there's no new content, but we're keeping the servers open. And then in 6 months' time, which happens often, they'll shut down the servers and you can't play it at all. So it's a completely vulnerable market, where you're not only open to what content they produce, because it's very difficult with any game, even with a game you love like this Watch Dogs Legion. If they wanted to keep making seasons of Watch Dogs Legion and new content, it'd be very difficult. Even I wouldn't get that interested if they kept making more content and more content about the same story. It'd be limited. And with live service games, of course it's limited, but you've got limited content, you've got limited new possibilities, you've got limited new ways to fight and missions, and there's a limit to how long you can keep that going, keep stringing it along, kind of, if the game's not absolutely fantastic. And so you've got that, you're at the mercy of publishers deciding to just abandon it and not produce more content. And then you've got this thing, which is another thing which is kind of tied into this, it's also kind of tied into pay to win, where in lots of these live service games you have characters, missions, items that you have to really grind out to unlock. I've seen that often mentioned, and I was thinking, well, often the thing that they offer is you can buy the character or the missions or the gear without doing the grind. You can it's like pay to win. And then I thought, apart from anything else, and this isn't just about live service games, isn't that just defeating the whole point of a game? I mean, of course you can pay to win, you can pay to skip a level, you can pay to get the best gear, you can pay to get a character you'd have to grind for. But I remember back in the day I used to play EA football manager games. This is a long time back on like PlayStation 2. And okay, so say in that game, it wasn't an option, but say in that game, in those kind of games, you could have paid to win the season as your football team or win a match because it was against a difficult team and you could pay to win. Well, okay, that'd be great. We'd have won the match and we'd progress in our league or in our knockout competition. But at the end of the day, what's the point? Because the game is to be played, not to win. It doesn't really make sense because a game is a game. And when you get to the point where you just pay to skip parts, what's the point? I mean, the point to all games, like Watch Dogs Legion, is I'm playing it because I enjoy the game. If I didn't get to the end and win, who cares? If I don't get to it, I don't get to the end of lots and lots of games I play because I lose interest, I find other games I enjoy, I get bored, I get stuck, but I've enjoyed what I've played. And with, like I said, with Watch Dogs Legion, I have got to the end. But if I didn't get to the end, who cares? Because I'm enjoying the game and the game should be the thing. Once you can skip parts of games, which you can obviously, to just get to a certain point. What's the point? Because the point to a game is the game. Unless you're playing competitively in a really, really highly competitive environment. I don't just mean trying to guess what other players are doing and think I want to beat them, but actually against your mates or against in a competition, which would still be like, why would you want to pay to win? It doesn't make any sense because the point to a game is a game. And it'd be like even a real game of anything. If you could just pay to win in a football game, in a real football game, what would be the point? Because the point is the game, not the winning. And once the winning becomes everything, and just getting the gear is the thing, and getting the new character is the thing, and getting the new items is the thing, and getting the new skins is the thing, then what's the point? Because it doesn't matter anymore, does it? Because you're not enjoying the game, you're just enjoying the idea of the winning or the getting things. And so that's another point which is kind of tied to online service, also tied to pay to win. Anyway, those are kind of the thoughts I've had. And a lot of these things have kind of escalated in the last few years. You know, we go back and there was a time when there wasn't any online service hardly, and there wasn't any pay to win, and it's got more and more abundant in games. Live service is a thing that publishers are desperately trying to do. Pay to win is a thing that's come on. This seasons thing, which is really weird. Like, you know, TV series have seasons. Games don't need seasons, and because of what a game is, it's much more difficult with a game where you've got a set universe and set characters already in the physical game they've made to have new seasons in a season of, I don't know, whatever it might be, CSI, Doctor Who, it doesn't matter. You can add new characters, you can completely change the story, change the locations. But in a video game, you haven't got those options, because you're still going to come back to the core content and the core idea of the game and the core game style. So it's weird. It's a weird thing to even think about, and it has to work really, really well to pull it off. And the problem is that it doesn't usually, because it's a very hard thing to pull off. Anyway, thanks for watching. Guess Again Gaming. Until next time, take care for now.